at Donald Trump's West Palm Beach Country Club. He's pleaded not guilty. Jury selection is expected to take 3 days, with the trial scheduled to last up to 4 weeks. Ruth has been told he's not allowed to make any sudden movements while presenting his defence from a podium in the courtroom. Ruth has challenged the president to a round of golf to settle the case, saying that if he wins, he wants the president's job.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Monday, the 8th day of September for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. Lots to talk about here today. Of course, the new AP College football poll is out. We'll take a look at the top 10 here this morning. The Nebraska football team now 2-0 in the season. The Huskers picking up a big win over Akron on Saturday, 68-0. The first shutout for the Husker Blackshirts since 2009. The Nebraska volleyball team, they had an easy time of things over the weekend, picking up 2 wins in the Emeritus Players Challenge. The Nebraska women's soccer team got a couple of goals from Kayla Carpenter yesterday to beat Kansas State by a score of 2-0. Hastings College football team, they lost to Midland on Saturday, 24-9 in the game played at Lloyd Wilson Field. Hastings College women's soccer team and the men's soccer team were in action later on Saturday. The UNK football team had a contest against Chadron State on Saturday. We'll tell you how they did. Plus a lot of high school sports to tell you about from over the weekend. So all that and more is coming up as you wake up, get going here this morning with Mike and Tyson as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
And a good morning to you. Not good morning to my parlay. Not good morning to my plan to make some money this weekend. But yet a great football weekend. It capped off with one of the most thrilling NFL games I think that I may have ever watched in my entire adult life. Buffalo-Baltimore, that was pure cinema last night. Obviously, Nebraska rolling, getting the big win. Really ending Saturday night with a special kind of fun feeling. But I got to be honest, as far as the pocketbook is concerned, lost a little bit. Had an opportunity to get off to a great start with the 5-team parlay. Our Blazing 5 went out of the gates 2-0. And, like I said, I play what I say. And so what I said on Friday was that I was going to take the early half of that 5-team parlay and make it the 3-teamer. And then put the other 2, maybe for some gravy, on the top. As it turned out, it was overcooked. It was rotten gravy.
No, none of us did well. We'll just start there. Our Blazing 5 this week stunk.
Yeah.
We'll just start with the Blazing 5. Hell, I think I can bring them up right here because this is kind of embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
This is kind of embarrassing. I think all 3 of us, you, me, and the IT guy, I think we all took her on the chin. Took her on the chin this weekend. I think it's the Frozen 5 for the first time
getting chilly
this season. Coming
right
up
after a 5-0 week.
Yeah, after a 5-0 week, I see you going 2-3.
Yep.
And you're Blazing 5. The IT guy, he goes 2-3. And I miserable 1-4 last week. My only win, by the way. My only win, as you see it on the Blazing 5 screen, my only win in the Blazing 5 was Kent State.
Nice.
Kent State. And they lost by 48 points. I was only able to secure that win by half a point.
Oh, my God.
But that's my only win I had last week was Kent State, the worst team in the nation. They cover in their ball game barely. They lost by 48 points, and I was getting 48.5. I lost Michigan. I lost to Louisiana Monroe. I lost to Miami Dolphins. And I lost to Baltimore last night.
What happened to the Dolphins?
Oh, they stunk.
That was awful. That was awful.
They were beaten. We told you last week that looked like a trap game.
Yep.
Looked like a trap game all the way because it was Indy that was favored by 1.5 points.
Yeah, Miami was the dog.
Yeah, Miami was the dog. We said that looked like a trap. And Indy beats Miami like 23-0.
Wow.
So anyway, you got out of the gate with Illinois and North Carolina State in the win column. Then you dropped games with SMU, Tulsa, and Arizona State. The IT guy, he got a win with Louisiana Tech, getting 37.5 points in their ball game. He also cashed in on the Chiefs and the Chargers going over, but he lost on the Dolphins. He lost on the Steelers and the Jets going under, and he lost on Cincinnati. So after 2 weeks of the season, or is this 3 weeks? 3 weeks of us with predictions. You're on top in our Blazing 5 contest. You've got a mark of 10-5. And me and the ID guy, we're in there at 8-7. So
I gave you guys an opportunity. I opened the door for you guys to come through and pass me on the left-hand side, but we all had bad weeks. The SMU Baylor game, I want to focus on that for just a second because SMU's kicker is awful. And if I'm SMU, I'm looking at myself in the mirror today and I'm making some changes. Illinois put the game in hand against Duke. I then felt comfortable switching over to the SMU game, who at the time was comfortably in front. Then an interception. Then Baylor comes down the field, 48 seconds remaining, Baylor scores touchdown. SMU drives down the field. SMU's got an opportunity for a game-winning field goal. It's long. It's a long field goal. But in today's day and age, man, these kickers have the leg. So he shanks it. It's ugly. It goes wide. And then we're going into the overtime session. And another opportunity to put SMU up by 3. It was just a 2.5-point spread, right? Like, I'm thinking, okay, we still have a chance. SMU then misses a field goal in overtime. Another shank. This is a reason I don't like kickers. And Baylor drives down the field. All they got to do is score. So an INT and 2 missed field goals in the final 48 seconds of that football game. And Baylor escapes with a victory. And it was like SMU was like dumbfounded. They're like, what just happened? How did we lose that game? Well, an INT and 2 shanked field goals will get you every time. So down the stretch, Baylor steals it from SMU, steals my 3-team parlay, and ultimately would sink the ship. The 5-teamer, it never recovered. I got to stop betting against Mississippi State. That's for damn sure.
So all 3 of us losers this week.
Losers.
And you'll hear it for the first time this season. Probably won't be the last time this season. Instead of the Blazing 5 on the Friday, I'm sorry to say it's going to be the Frozen 5. The Frozen 5 will be coming up Friday at 7:30. Now then, let's get you an update on our Survivor pool.
Let's go.
And the totals, I understand, will not update until the final game of the week. So after
Monday night.
After the Monday night game tonight, then you'll see that 52 that's up on our video screen. If you're watching on our social media sites, on our video sites, you still have 52 players involved in our Survivor pool. That will dwindle as soon as the final game tonight is in the books. But I did some research this morning.
Okay.
We do have one person on Chicago tonight. So out of our Survivor pool, we have one person on Chicago. As near as I can tell, we've got 7 people out of the Survivor pool already. after the opening weekend. Three people failed to make a pick last week, so obviously they are out.
They're going to
go. Two people were on Kansas City.
Yep.
So the Chiefs, they lost to San Diego, or Los Angeles, whoever the hell they are, the Chargers, on Friday in Brazil. So the two people that were on Kansas City, they're out. Somebody was on the Giants, and somebody was on the Atlanta Falcons. So right now I've got 7 people out of the 52 that are out after the opening week. I was a little nervous yesterday. I was on Denver.
Dude, you weren't watching that TV game with the comfortable feeling in your stomach.
No, I was nervous. And I didn't get comfortable until late in the fourth quarter. My wife and I were just kind of had it on. I'm not a big Denver Broncos fan, but I was yesterday because that was my survivor pick. So I was paying more attention to a Denver Broncos game than I normally do. And I was not feeling comfortable whatsoever. I told my wife this is going to be embarrassing. Embarrassing right out of the chute. It would
have been embarrassing for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people were on Denver. But they come through. So everybody had Denver in the survivor pool. You're still alive. And like I said, I think I got 45 people, if my math is correct. We still got 45 people in the survivor pool. So get ready for a week number 2. Have you even looked at next week's schedule?
No, man. 1 week at a time.
So you're still in. I'm still in. IT guy, he's still in. That's in the survivor pool. Meanwhile, our Blazing 5, it was
miserable. It was miserable. Jacksonville looked good. Like, my survivor pick was solid. They won handily. Yeah,
you didn't really even have to sweat it out, did you?
I wasn't nervous at all.
Yeah, Jacksonville jumped out to the early lead, and they never gave it up. So you really didn't have to sweat it out like I did.
You know who else sweated it out? We had Dave, we had Kristen, Lloyd, Stephanie, all our Bills who were on the Bills for Survivor. Oh, man, that looked bleak.
If you went to bed last night,
you missed out.
You missed out because in the fourth quarter, the Bills were trailing by 15 points. The Bills were trailing by 15 points with about 11 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. As you wake up this morning, you're going to look at the score. What happened? Buffalo came from 15 points down in the fourth quarter. They beat Baltimore last night, 41-40. Matt Prater won it with a 32-yard field goal as time expired. He wasn't even on the team until Thursday. They picked him up as a free agent because their kicker had a groin injury or something. Bass did.
Yep.
So they get on the phone and call this Matt Prater guy who wasn't even on a team. He flies to Buffalo, kicks the ball around a little bit on Friday during practice, and then he's called upon to win the game on Sunday night from 32 yards out, and he bangs it through the pipes, game-winning field goal, and Buffalo beats Baltimore last night 41-40. My initial thoughts, I was watching that game last night, I said, boy, Baltimore looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get into a discussion with you this morning. Baltimore really looks good. And then Buffalo comes back and beats them, so I've got to throw Buffalo in there too. Buffalo really looks good.
Do you think that's the AFC Championship parent?
After the first week, yes.
Yeah, as it stands, those two teams are going to meet again.
But you know, there's going to be some peaks and valleys during the season. We don't know about injuries and stuff like that. Kansas City is always in the discussion, but Xavier Worthy is now iffy. Rashid Rice is
suspended.
He's suspended for 6 weeks, 5 more weeks. So we'll see how Worthy is. It sounds like he's got a dislocated shoulder.
No.
I was reading some stuff last night. A mild dislocated shoulder. He can be back in 2 to 4 weeks. If it's any worse than a mild dislocated shoulder, we're talking several weeks. like 6 to 8. And if it's anything worse than that, like surgery is going to be required, work is done for the season. So he's still going to be checked out today.
That
and
escalated
I
quickly.
just find it rather interesting that there's been no word on Worthy yet. Even during the NFL shows yesterday, I was really anticipating hearing something on one of the shows, and really no one brought it up. So that's kind of scary.
It's scary, but I also err on the side of, especially like dealing with NFL injuries, like no news is good news.
Yeah. If they didn't say anything, and it seems going to be a 2 to 4 weeker.
Yep.
We'll learn more today. Ember's already chimed in.
Chiefs are awful. We suck again.
No, the Chiefs don't suck again.
That's what she says. We got Ryan Martin saying Kansas lost to Mizzou, up 21-3 in the first quarter. Oh, yeah, I thought Kansas was going to roll in that game. Missouri is just the deeper football team. Missouri has SEC depth. And that was the only difference between the two teams. I thought that Kansas got overrun and maybe just ran out of legs to go toe-to-toe with the Missouri Tigers. At the end of the day, Kansas just didn't have the depth to continue to play at that physicality, that level of physicality that Missouri showed, I think, down the second half. Daniels is still special. Kansas has still got something special brewing, but they're not on the SEC level yet. We got Chief chiming in. Great game last night. Circle the wagons. Buffalo Bills beating the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was fun. That was fun football.
I even stayed up for it. You couldn't go to sleep on that.
No, you're not. Not when Buffalo was in the middle of the comeback. Yeah, I didn't. I had originally thought at the fourth quarter, I'm like, if Buffalo doesn't score on this drive, I'm going to go to bed. And then Buffalo scored on the drive, and I'm like, oh, okay, well.
When it was a 15-point game, I was looking for the remote control.
Yep.
I'm saying I'm done. And I thought, well, let's see here. Let's just hang on for a couple more minutes.
It's same.
Came back.
Literally had the exact same conversation with myself at the end of the night. You know what else was fun football to watch? How about Saturday?
Well, I'm going to bring up yet another Sunday game.
Okay.
That I think is warranted. Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers, the guy who nobody thought should be still playing football, who took all the grief during the preseason. All he does is go back to New York, his former team, leads his Steelers to a 34-32 win. He throws 4 touchdowns, 244 yards, completed 22 of his 30 passes, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. It was kind of like in your face. Stick this somewhere that the sun doesn't shine, you New York administrators and executives who basically railroaded me out of town.
Yeah.
Aaron, I love seeing that. I loved seeing that yesterday. I'm normally not a big Aaron Rodgers fan because I think he's kind of a kook.
He's a little goofy.
Yeah, he's a little goofy, but I loved that yesterday. He went into New York. And played well. 4 touchdown passes, 244 yards, completed 22 of his 30 attempts. I told you earlier that if Rodgers stays healthy, he's going to get Pittsburgh. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but they could be in line for the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt.
I think Rodgers will get Pittsburgh maybe in contention for the playoffs.
I don't know how great I feel about a 2-point win against the lowly Jets, though.
I thought the Jets played well.
Fields is great. Fields is a great quarterback for them, and I'm glad to see him get his shot after the Russell Wilson saga last year.
Yeah, I think the Jets are much improved from what we've seen the last couple of years. So I'll be anxious to see how that all develops. Aaron Rodgers still on our waiver wire, by the way. Our fantasy team. We're looking for a quarterback.
I'm really not. Jackson, I'm doing just fine.
I was not happy with Bo Nix yesterday. Denver starting quarterback.
No, he didn't look great.
Yeah, I'm not happy with Bo Nix. as bad as my team performed this weekend, I could be in line for one of the first waiver wire pickups of the year.
Let's take a gander at the old fantasy football scoreboard, shall we?
Well, I had Worthy, and he was out after about 3 plays, so I didn't score there.
Happened. 66 points, that's... Well, I was going to say teetering on the low points. Hackler beat you to the low.
Look at my team, though. I had Worthy, who didn't score any points.
That wasn't worth anything, yeah. Bo Nix didn't even hang double digits.
No.
Devontae Smith had like 3 targets.
Yeah, so I got to do some work on my fantasy team. Don't be surprised that I pick up Aaron Rodgers.
66 points. My goodness. Meanwhile, over here on the other end of the spectrum, I get the high for the week.
You did?
105-point performance from courtesy of Lamar Jackson, Alvin Kamara, Kincaid. Jaguars defense was a big play. And remember that kicker that hit the 70-yarder in preseason?
Oh, yeah.
And you said, put him on your fantasy football draft board. Well, I did. He did, Cam Little, all he did was go 4 for 4 on field goals with 2 extra points. Cam Little was my second highest scorer, my kicker.
Are you kidding me?
For 15 points as the Jags defeated the Carolina Panthers 26-10. 105-point performance, and my kicker was the second highest scorer.
How many field goals did he have yesterday?
He had 4.
4?
4.
Any long range? Obviously, he had some long rangers.
Yeah, 15-pointer.
Yeah, very good.
Dakota knocks off Chris Cook, 75-69. Nice.
How did Strowman do?
I was just looking. Shane beat KK. They played the very first week of the season. That's manipulative. Amber beat Shane.
No, Amber beat Strowman.
Amber beat Strowman.
All right, so I think I'll play Strowman this week.
There you go.
All right, so that's what's going on in our fantasy football league. So I lost, obviously.
You have to look at yourself in the mirror this morning, buddy.
Well, God, Bo Nix stunk up the place. He got a win, but he didn't give me any points.
Are you making a quarterback change this week?
I might. See who I got on the bench. I got Fields on the bench.
60-yard field goal saving the Pittsburgh Steelers. Boswell, ice in the veins. That's what I'm saying, man. These kickers anymore, we used to think 50 plus. Hell, we used
50.
We used to think 40 plus was a big field goal. Hell, anymore, 60 is the average distance where you start to get nervous at 60, and that's crazy. These kickers are damn good, man.
All right, if you'd like to chime in with us, something from the weekend, 402-834-1330, 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. Chime in with us. If you went to the Nebraska game, I'm anxious to hear. I heard that the concession lines were extremely long and slow, and people were whining that it took forever to get through the concession stand. It was the first game with beer sales. How'd that go? Give us our thoughts on that. So if you went to the game, give us our thoughts. Either give us a buzz on the fan line. We'll talk about it, or I'd be anxious to see some comments on our social media sites. If you went to the game in Lincoln on Saturday, I just heard through some social media posts that I saw that the concession lines were god-awfully long. And
aren't they cashless?
Yeah, they're cashless. So why did it take so damn
long? Why is it taking so long?
Because Johnny got up there and was looking over the menu, the new menu at the concession stand.
Get out of the line.
Food. Yeah, get out of the way.
Get the hell out of the way.
That's what happened. They probably got up there, and they had a whole bunch of new things that they were looking at.
Get out of the line.
Get out of the line until you know what the hell you want.
Yep.
Don't stand there at the counter.
Johnny,
do you want just a hot dog, or you want to try out these new nachos they've got? Well, how about this over here?
Well, let's see. If 26 plus 12, that's 30, and I've got 40 in cash. Oh, sir, we don't do cash. Oh, you don't do cash.
Don't do cash.
Honey, do you have your card?
Yeah, I don't have
Look
my
around
card
and
with
dig
me.
in your purse. See if you have your card. Jesus, I know those people, and those people piss me off so
Well,
much.
that's probably what happened.
Oh, man, I would have had a field day.
Ryan Martin says blowouts lead to long concession lines.
It's also true.
And another thing is they don't have hawkers anymore in the stadium.
Say what?
They don't have people
Oh, yeah.
going
You
up
can't.
and down the steps selling crap, hot dogs and pop. So
Right.
if you want something, you got to go to the concession line. That's why the concession lines are so long, because they didn't have anybody out in the stadium selling concessions. Naturally, the lines are going to be longer. Hello?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you were at the game on Saturday, let us know. It wasn't a... Yeah, it was,
Amber's concessions were really easy and fast and sweet, of course.
yeah, they had a suite.
Show off.
Yeah. Anyway, 402-834-1330. Again, our Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. We're going to be talking about the Huskers coming up, because there's plenty to talk about. Pretty good performance for Nebraska on Saturday. 68-0 over Akron. We'll talk about that coming up here from Matt Rule in just a few minutes. Let's get to our first update on news. It says 7:26 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We continue to focus on news that we brought last week, with the Nebraska Department of Revenue projecting that the impact of the federal bill, the one big, beautiful bill, will reduce state revenues by more than $200 million in the current 2-year budget cycle. Well, last week, Senator Pete Ricketts making a public appearance via NPR, stating that it's up to Governor Jim Pillen and the Nebraska legislature to handle the budget shortfall, emphasizing that when he was governor, his administration controlled spending to deliver tax relief. Ricketts praised the federal bill for benefiting average Nebraska families, arguing that it prevents a hypothetical $2,400 tax increase. And when asked how much his own family would save under the bill, Ricketts responded that he had not looked into his personal tax implications, because of course not. The reality is, ultimately, the state will have to make cuts, big cuts, and one of the areas bracing for those big cuts has already made gigantic cuts, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Over the past 5 years, Nebraska has already implemented $75 million in cuts across its budget, including staffing, libraries, and academic units, and now an additional $27.5 million reduction is going to be required by the end of the calendar year. That represents nearly 6% of its state-supported budget. The university is evaluating every possible measure to trim costs, including the closure or consolidation of entire colleges or programs, even those with long history. Programs that could be on the chopping block include architecture, journalism, or even law. University of Nebraska system aims to prioritize the areas to align with its goal to recenter with the Association of American Universities, and faculty morale and process fairness are all under scrutiny. A 2024 report estimates that UNL contributed $3.1 billion annually to Nebraska's economy, supporting over 25,000 jobs and generating $84 million in tax revenue, underscoring the economic impact at risk if cuts proceed. 7:28. Let's turn things over to you, Mike. What's going down in sports?
Well, Ohio State is still ranked number 1 in the latest AP college football poll. The Buckeyes are 2-0 in the season after Saturday's 70-0 rout of Grambling. Penn State is second, followed by LSU, Oregon, and Miami. Rounding out the top 10 are Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Florida State. Indiana is 22nd, and Michigan is 23rd. The Nebraska football team now 2-0 in the season after Saturday's 68-0 win over Akron. It's the first shutout for the Nebraska Blackshirts since 2009. Dylan Raiola completed 24 of 31 passes for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Emmett Johnson rushed for 140 yards and 2 scores. Ja'Cory Barney had 7 receptions for 132 yards. Nebraska outgained the Zips 728 to 175. Nebraska will play host to Houston Christian on Saturday. Kickoff will be at 11 on FS1. The Nebraska volleyball team now 6-0 in the season after picking up a pair of wins in the Emeritus Players Challenge over the weekend. The Huskers beat Wright State on Friday 25-16, 25-16, 25-20 before taking care of California on Sunday 25-15, 25-19, 25-12. Huskers will play Utah and Grand Canyon this weekend. The Nebraska women's soccer team got 2 goals from Kayma Carpenter to beat Kansas State 2-0 yesterday. Huskers are now 5-0-2 in the season and will open the conference season on Thursday against Minnesota. The contest will start at 7 at Hibner Stadium and will be televised on the Big Ten Network. Hastings College football team lost to Midland 24-9 on Saturday. The Broncos had 273 yards of total offense in the game, including 210 yards passing. Jarrett Sinek completed 15 of 27 for a touchdown. Dalton Armbruster rushed for 40 yards on 9 carries. Jake Bargan caught 6 passes for 75 yards. Dawson Kissinger recorded 11 tackles. Hastings is now 1-1 in the season. They will play at Briar Cliff on Saturday. Kickoff will be at 1. Hastings College women's soccer team beat Ottawa 1-0 on Saturday. The Broncos are now 4-1 in the season and will host Bethel on Wednesday. Hastings College men's soccer team fought to a scoreless tie with Kansas Wesleyan on Saturday. The Broncos are now 1-2-2 and will host Tabor this afternoon beginning at 4. The UNK football team now 2-0 in the season. The Lopers beat Chadron State 41-21 on Saturday. UNK will play at Fort Hays State this Saturday. To check in the sports headlines coming up on 7:32 on Extreme Sports.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. Cloudy skies expected today with a chance for scattered storms. Daytime highs approaching 78. Southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms. Tonight, lows dip down to about 61, partly cloudy skies. A mix of clouds and sun tomorrow, highs around 83. Low 80s Wednesday, turning warmer on Thursday with highs in the mid-80s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Fromley. Currently, it's 61 degrees.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboard and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Abronic with you as I huddle up on Extreme Sports for this Monday. Again, thanks for listening to us, whether you're on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us for another work week. A couple of other things that we'll bring up. Minnesota beat Kansas City Royals 5-1 yesterday. Royals still hovering around the 500 mark. They're 73-70. They're going to play at Cleveland tonight. First pitch will be at 5:40. NFL football last night, again, Buffalo beating Baltimore. 32-yard field goal from Matt Prater as time expired. 41-40 the final score last night. Tonight, Minnesota plays at Chicago. Kickoff will be at 7:15. Denny Hamlin won the NASCAR race yesterday at the Worldwide Technology Raceway just outside of St. Louis. Chase Briscoe was second, followed by Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano. Yeah, Denny gets out of his car yesterday and to a chorus of boos, tells the fans, get on his bandwagon or get run over by it. It's going to be on a shirt.
Sounds mature.
Yeah, Amber's going to probably have it out on a shirt in no time. Yeah, Denny, he feeds off of people booing him all the time. The more boos, the better.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets out of his car and says, yeah, just get on the bandwagon or get run over by it. That's neat.
God.
That's neat. High school football Friday night. Not a good night for the Hastings teams. Hastings High lost to Northwest 40-0. Tigers now 0-2 in the season. They'll play Bennington on Friday. Adams Central lost to Columbus Lakeview 34-6. Patriots are 0-2. They'll play at Gothenburg on Friday. St. Cecilia says, heck, if you guys are going to lose, I'll lose. We'll lose too. St. Cecilia lost to Amherst 20-14. Hawks are now 0-2. They'll play at Kearney Catholic on Friday night. So,
oh boy.
Not a good start for our high school football teams.
Oh, boy.
I'd have a pool.
Winner's pool?
Pool. Who's going to win the first game of the year? We got Bennington, Hastings High this week.
Ouch.
St. Cecilia, Kearney Catholic.
Ouch.
Adams Central, Gothenburg.
I think AC's probably got your best shot.
Yeah, I don't know if... obviously, all three Hastings teams will be...
I mean, Bennington's just a powerhouse in Class B, always have been. I mean, they're going to be tough. And
that's our home game.
You throw Kearney Catholic into the mix, they got athletes all over the field.
Yeah, so a tough start to the season.
Going to be rough.
We'll have some high school volleyball tomorrow night on the air.
That's right.
Yeah, last week we had Adams Central and Hastings High. This week we're going to have Adams Central and St. Cecilia. They're going to play at the Patriots Gym tomorrow night, and we'll have the action here on Extreme Sports. Again, match time will be somewhere around 7 o'clock. We said 7 last week, and it was about 8.
It was not.
Yeah, it was not anywhere close to 7. But that's when it's scheduled for, 7 o'clock starting time. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, Adams Central and St. Cecilia in volleyball tomorrow night. And then we'll have high school football Friday night, Hastings College football on Saturday. Your take on the Huskers?
Man, it's fun, right? That was a fun game, right? We know it was Akron. We knew they were going to be severely under-talented when it came to matching up with Nebraska. But it was one of those games where everything just looked so good. A complete 180, I think, from the energy and the nerves that we had after the Cincinnati game. And I mean, obviously there's a gap there between Cincinnati and Akron, and we were able to take advantage of that. But I think if you watched the game, you watched a game and reminisced of this is what we're supposed to do when we play these cupcakes. When we play these teams and we pay these teams $1.5 million to come into Memorial Stadium so that we can get a tune-up, that's the kind of results we expect when we pay a school $1.5 million. It didn't always used to be that way.
No, in fact, we got beat by one of those teams.
We got beat by a Georgia Southern team that ultimately took Scott Frost out of his job. We've been beat by Northern Illinois, which came out of the same conference as Akron. We have lost those games before. And so I think that you feel a lot more comfortable now that Nebraska is starting to put away those games that we need to roll, and we did. I was just, man, everything was good. Royal was great. The backups were great. The second string looks really good, and the second string came in and they just took care of business. It wasn't like they were just going through the motions, right? And just kind of waiting for the clock to grind out. No, those guys were going to show off a little bit. TJ Lateef with that beautiful little juke move to find his way into the end zone. That was he could start on any other program, maybe apart from your top 25 teams. I mean, he's a starting quarterback somewhere, but he is spending his time getting reps in, developing under this current administration. I think Dana's play calling was outstanding. We ran the damn ball. We were overly physical defensively. We didn't show a whole lot. We didn't have to, and we took care of the sticks. The biggest jump from this defense to last year's defense is last year's defense. It felt like we zoned and we tried to prevent teams from getting into the end zone. This defense, we are preventing teams from getting first downs. We are preventing teams from extending drives. We are preventing teams from holding on to the football and draining some clock and keeping scores low. We're getting them off the field, and we haven't had that in a very long time. Poor Archie, right, doesn't get a punt. His whole family's there. Everybody just wants to see Archie, our Australian ambidextrous kicker, go and place a punt, but we don't allow him to do that because our drives were capped off with field goals and touchdowns. This is a special team, and I'm not saying drink the Roulade. I'm not saying it's just Akron. I'm just saying Saturday night was fun. Saturday night was it felt like it was cool to be a Husker fan again, and we haven't had that feeling for a very long time. And just keep it rolling. You can't let last night, or I keep saying last night like it's Sunday for some reason. You can't let Saturday be like, okay, well, that's what we're capable of, but we're not going to show it for the rest of the year. You got to continue. The proof's in the process.
We'll see what happens here in a couple of weeks.
The work that this team has put in has to be maintained because you now know what that work gets you. And so you can't, if you're a player right now in that locker room, you got to continue to bring that level of intensity week in and week out. We played Akron like we were gearing up to play a top 10 team. And that's how we came onto the field. That's how we ran through them. Previously, we played down to our opponent's level. And this time we rose up and they didn't meet us. And we ran away with it. Again, how are we going to look when we play? Michigan looked awful against Oklahoma. Underwood, the prized $5 million pony at the University of Michigan, getting into fights with receivers on the sideline. There's turmoil there. It's not looking good. Michigan might be making a quarterback change. I'm not saying that Nebraska is going to roll through Michigan and that we're going to win that football game. I'm saying that I love our odds as it stands right now. I think we can compete with anybody in the country. Again, I know it was just Akron, and I'm not going to jump on the get drunk on a gallon of Roulade bandwagon here, but I'm saying we have reasons to be optimistic.
Yeah,
a lot more reasons to be optimistic than we had 1 week ago.
I made a bad decision on Saturday. I went out and watched the game at the local sports establishments.
Yep.
Well, they had a shot special.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, when Huskers score, you take a shot. I said, I can do that. So me and my buddy, who was also there, little did we know we were going to score 68 points.
You had damn near nine shots.
They were kind of weak.
Right.
They were kind of weak. I made it through, but that was probably.
We also did touchdown shots, but again, they weren't potent.
Yeah, they were pretty weak. It was like Kool-Aid. It was like Roulade. I think that's what they were serving us.
Roulade.
Yeah, just some Roulade.
There you go.
Anyway, let's hear from Matt Rule, shall we? He says it was a big win against Akron. He says he's excited for the team.
We have recruits come on the field. It was, I don't know, 40 minutes for the game, 30 minutes for the game. I was able to point at our student section. I want to make sure I thank them. Our student section was filled early before games. These are the things that differentiate us in recruiting, so I want to thank the students. Great crowd tonight. Thank everyone who came, and especially thank all the people who stayed to the end. One of the key things in a game like that, besides getting the shutout, I think the shutout was very important for us. I think it's the first time since when? 2009. And we're not that the history of it matters to us, but just, we played a lot of players. I think every player that could play got in the game. Maybe one or two didn't, I don't know. But we were able to get a lot of players in the game, a lot of players who work hard, who sacrifice. And so to play them all and still continue to play to the standard and have the shutout was a really exciting moment for us. Proud of the guys, proud of their effort this week. They practiced hard, and they went out and overcame some early self-inflicted wounds and played the game pretty clean. So proud of that. Excellent to see Jacory, the job he and his punt return unit did, having 87 yards. I think Keith was just telling me it's more than the season total the last couple of years. We knew we were going to have good opportunity at that, but it's all these things mixed together, right? It's the defense. It's the defense, having good field position so that we can be aggressive on the punt returns. It's guys holding guys up. It's having guys like Derek Branch and Vince Genatone who do great jobs on those teams. Young guys like Kamir Prescott who step up. So really proud of all that. And finally, happy for Luke Lindemeyer. At the very end, he proposed to his girlfriend, who I'm so embarrassed I don't know her name, but she's a lovely young lady, and she's a Scarlet, and he proposed, and she said yes.
All right, despite all that, the coach says there's still plenty to fix.
I think I'll watch the tape and just, I'll just try to do the same thing I did last week. Just look at the things that were good, look at the things that were bad. Obviously, first and goal inside the 5 and to not get it in is not good enough. To fumble the ball on the goal line is not good enough. But at the same time, we also came back with sort of a what's next attitude. I hated the fact that they were able to drive the ball before the half and have a chance at a field goal. I hated the fact they were able to drive the ball and start the second half. But credit to our guys, they came off and they blocked it. I love the intensity of our guys on the sideline, the Bufords demanding that we block it. So I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots and lots of things. And we're not here to comment on the overall. We're here to just keep fixing all the things that we see, and different things will come up. So, but I think a lot of in general, all three sides put it together. So pleased with that.
And Dylan Raiola completed 24 of 31 passes, 364 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think anyone gave him nearly enough. I mean, I told the TV guys before the game, I said, Dylan's done a good job of blocking out the noise. A lot of guys are talking about his performance last week, not pushing. He completed 30. He was one of the only quarterbacks in the country who completed 33 passes last week. He completed his last 9 last week and first 11 this week, or vice versa. Last 11 last week and first 9 this week. I think he was superb last week. I thought early on, to be quite honest, his feet were a little bit out of whack. I thought Data did a good job of getting him in phase, and I thought he was in command. Anytime we can throw the ball this many times and not have to worry about throwing it in interceptions, I think we feel really good about it. I think everyone has to get used to the fact that when Dylan plays really well, I don't want to see a ton of wow plays. I don't want to see him run around throwing the ball sideways. I want to see him play quarterback. And what Dylan's doing is he's playing quarterback. He's elite before the snap. And I just hope everyone, across the country appreciates it the way I know most of you guys do. Like, he's just getting us in the right play, making the right check. There's not a lot of things that are off. And most of playing quarterback happens actually before the snap. And I think he's just so elevated in that regard. So we're able to get to a lot of things. There's a lot of plays, I'm sure, when he looks at it, he'll say, I need to do this better, that better. But I just think he's ascending and getting better and better every week.
And Emmett Johnson had another good game for the Huskers. 14 carries, 140 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. The coach says he'll echo that thought, that he had a great game despite coughing up the football once.
Yeah, I didn't say anything to Emmett after he fumbled. Just said, hey, put the next back in. You're not going to fumble and play the next, go right back in. And so, but, I thought we've, great job with Donnie and Danny continuing to go to it. We ran like the fake speed sweep, inside zone slice play that, hit consistently, so we kept going back to it. I thought Emmett was excellent there. One of the things I loved about what Emmett did tonight that I saw, I don't like to comment too much on the football until I watch the tape, but most times when he breaks out, he looks to cut it back, and tonight you saw him trust his long speed and make long runs. And to me, that's his training. And I think I said to you guys, hey, I see a different back during training camp. I think you saw a little bit of that tonight. He fumbled. We put the other guys in. As the ball got down near the goal line, I said, hey, put him back in. He just want to make sure he knows, we can't do that. And it's not the result. It's, we go to 5 points of ball security. We go to the X factor. Again, I couldn't see how exactly it happened, but the ball was, the ball was in his left arm. He started left, cut the ball back right. We want to go to 5 points and score. He didn't. Ball came out. But to his point, I was like, hey, what's next? Get back in there. And then after he scored later, he said, Coach, what's next? So when the players start saying the things like that, then they're bought into it. The bad things are going to happen. How do you overcome adversity?
And we got to see a little bit of our backup quarterback and T.J. Lateef in that ball game as well.
One thing about Dana, he's not going to put him in there and just hand the ball off. He knows he needs to play. And I thought he did a nice job. He found some guys on the over routes. Great catch by Keelan Smith. We've never truly seen him live. So the one run he had, I knew he could run, but he ran. That was a dynamic play. Did a nice job pulling the ball again later, which those aren't designed quarterback reads. That's a read if you need to, and it was great to see him do that. So I think I said a couple times, he's not someone who gets too overwhelmed by the moment. He's kind of excited to go back in there. We started challenging him 2 weeks ago. Hey, if something happens, you have to go in and play, and you're struggling to call the play calls because you're not prepared. A lot of people are going to be looking at you, and he's answered that. He's in there early. He's working hard. I thought he was poised. I thought he did a really nice job, and so he'll add the dynamic element of being able to run the football. While at the still time, you saw him push the ball down the field. You saw him throw touch passes, and I think it shows how much we trust him that we allowed him to do that in a game like that, where obviously a shutout, specifically to me, a shutout was important to us because I believe in the defense having that, the fact that we let him throw it so much.
That's Husker head coach Matt Rule following the Huskers' 68-0 win over Akron on this Saturday. Huskers and Houston Christian this Saturday. It'll be an 11 o'clock start. You can see it on FS1.
Kings, eggs, and football. You mentioned the 2009 shutout against Louisiana Lafayette at that time, 55-0 from Nebraska. But even a deeper dig into the statistics. Before the Nebraska football team, 68-0 win over Akron. The last time the Huskers scored at least 68 points and got a shutout, back on November 13th, 1971, as Nebraska beat Kansas 77-0.
Oh, you just threw that in there for the Kansas people. That's in our lobby.
I was also throwing it in there because you know what happened in 1971?
We won the national championship.
Yeah, we did.
Not
saying, just saying.
All right, well, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. One of those interesting facts that you kind of store in your mind in case you need it later in the year.
Just a nugget. Nugget from Noah.
All right. Coming up 7:53. Better get a quick news update here as we roll on through this Monday.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We're going to continue to talk about money, or lack thereof. The Nebraska Department of Revenue projecting that the federal One Big Beautiful bill is going to be reducing state revenues by more than $200 million in the current 2-year budget cycle. Senator Pete Ricketts making an appearance on NPR over the weekend, stating that it is up to Governor Jim Pillen and the Nebraska legislature to handle this budget shortfall, emphasizing that when he was governor, his administration controlled spending to deliver tax relief. Ricketts praised the federal bill for benefiting average Nebraska families. He argues that it is going to prevent a, let's be honest, hypothetical $2,400 tax increase. And when he was asked how much his own family would save under the bill, Ricketts responded that he had not looked into his personal tax implications. Just throwing that in there. As far as the impacts of having to slash a state budget on programs that have already been slashed, let's focus on the University of Nebraska. Over the past 5 years, UNL specifically has already implemented $75 million in cuts across its budget. This includes staffing, libraries, academic units, and now an additional $27.5 million reduction is required by the end of the calendar year. This represents a nearly 6% of its state-supported budget. The university evaluating all options on the table, basically. Measures to trim costs, including the closure or potential consolidation of entire college programs, even those with long histories like architecture, journalism, and law. UNL aims to prioritize areas to align with its goal to recenter with the Association of American Universities. A 2024 economic report estimating that UNL contributed $3.1 billion annually to Nebraska's economy, supporting over 5,000 jobs, generating $84 million in tax revenue, underscoring the economic impact that's at risk if these cuts proceed. 7:56. Let's head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, Ohio State ranked number 1 in the latest AP college football poll. The Buckeyes are 2-0 in the season after Saturday's 70-0 rout of Grambling. Penn State is second, followed by LSU, Oregon, and Miami. Rounding out the top 10 are Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Florida State. Indiana is number 22. Michigan is number 23. High school sports activity over the weekend. Hastings High softball team, they went 1-1 in a triangular at Elkhorn on Saturday. Tigers beat Elkhorn 9-0, but lost to Lincoln Standing Bear 11-5. Hastings now 9-3 on the season, and will play at Lincoln Northwest on Tuesday. Hastings High volleyball team, they went 1-1 in the Lexington Invitational on Saturday. The Tigers lost to Hershey, but beat Chase County. Hastings is now 2-6. They'll play in the Northwest Triangular on Tuesday. Minnesota beat the Kansas City Royals 5-1 yesterday. The Royals now 73-70 on the season. They'll play at Cleveland tonight. First pitch will be at 5:40. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:57.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. Overcast today with a slight chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 78. Southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms. Tonight, lows level off around 61. A blend of clouds and sun again tomorrow. Highs level off around 83. Low 80s Wednesday, warmer on Thursday with highs in the mid-80s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Fromley. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance the Miletovista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Mileta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MiletaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Mileta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson and Veronica with you. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Monday. If you're just joining us, missed our recap from earlier. As far as our Blazing Five last weekend, things didn't go our way. I'll just put this back up here again. I finished 1-4 in my Blazing Five picks. You and the IT guy, they finished at 2-3. So you still got the lead in our Blazing Five contest. Got a couple of game lead now over me and the IT guy. So it was not a good week in our Blazing Five pick. That means the Frozen Five will make its debut on the Friday at 7:30.
But you know what? I'm not looking at myself in the mirror today and saying I'm a loser. In fact, if you look on your camera right now, we've got another shiny title belt that we are hoisting over our left shoulder. Tim Stroman knows we're in a fantasy baseball league together. This is a dynasty league. This is you get 6 keepers, so you got to build your team, and there's times where you got to be patient. And for 2 years, while I was waiting for my prospects to shine and make it to the bigs, I struggled, and we were bottom feeders. We were 11th and 12th in that league. Well, that team has started to mature, and finally it has blossomed into this big, beautiful title belt the Sons of Pitches, not only won the league title this year, we also had the most points in the entire league all season long. MVPs include, but are not limited to, I had a hell of a roster. Tariq Skubal, Paul Skeens, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, a big contributor to my fantasy success this year. We had Bobby Witt Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., we had Aaron Judge, we had O'Neal Cruz, we had all the big names, and the big names shined with the Fantasy Baseball Championship. Congratulations to the Sons of Pitches.
Your season is over?
Yeah, we end it like baseball should.
I know.
Our season runs about the length that you'd like to see a regular baseball season.
Yep, I've been talking about it for years.
We done. On to football.
You guys have got to figure it out.
On to football.
So, all right, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Again, in the survivor pool, Dan has already chimed in to go Denver. I think he was on Denver as well. So we survived. We get to move on to round number 2 this week. And again, the number that you see up in the upper right-hand corner of our video screen says 52. That will count down, but we'll have to wait until after the Monday night game when everything is in the books, and then that'll update throughout the contest. I took a gander at it this morning, and near as I can figure out, we've got 7 people out so far after the first week. We got somebody that's on Chicago tonight in the Minnesota game. So somebody's on Chicago tonight. We had 3 no picks from week number 1, so obviously they are out. Had 2 people that were on Kansas City. Obviously they are out. Had a person that was on Atlanta and a person that was on the Giants. So they are out. So 7 out of our 52 are on the sidelines. 45 remain. as we get ready for week number 2.
Could be anywhere from 43 to 45 out.
Yep. Not out, but still in.
40, yeah, correct.
Depending on what happens
45 in
tonight. So, yeah, that number will update by tomorrow morning. So
that's a ballsy pick. Chicago over Minnesota in Survivor. It's a gutsy pick.
I did too. I thought that was pretty.
I thought. I mean, there was 5 people that picked the Buffalo Bills last night against Baltimore. I thought that was gutsy.
Yeah, they were worried right until the end of the ball game.
So, great football weekend overall, even though the Blazing 5 went down the tubes. Good weekend of football.
It's kind of
Huskers
embarrassing.
Win, Bills win. Oh, yeah, we were due.
Yeah, we were hot last
all
week.
All that pomp and circumstance, all the
You went
shouting,
undefeated.
run 5-0, yelling over at the other pickers on the other stations that do their picks and being like, "Hey, we know what's going on over here."
Yeah, you were 5-0.
We got the real Schwami. Nope.
Yeah, you went 5-0. I went 4-1 last week. We're licking our wounds this week, but we'll be back.
Got to regroup.
Yeah, we'll be back. We're all right. We'll have our Frozen 5 coming up for you on the Friday morning at 7:30. All right, so good show today. If you'd like to listen to it again, you can. Just go to our social media sites, punch the download button for the podcast, and you can listen to the show again, listen to Matt Rule and all of our other talk we had in the first half hour. Covered a lot of topics today. NFL football off and rolling with some big wins. Buffalo last night over Baltimore. Pittsburgh winning with Aaron Rodgers. So,
AFC's going to be fun, man. AFC's going to be fun.
All right, we'll get together again tomorrow morning at 7. Thanks for joining us. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.